I'm a sports duty officer at the Foster Sports Centre at the University of Central Lancashire, and my basic sort of role in the centre is organising the events and competitions.
Okay. So the first question is, really wonderful basketball competition just finished here a couple of days ago. So could you talk about something about that? Seeing how many teams took part in, how was the competitive?
Okay, there was about 54 people took part in it, and there was roughly 13 teams. We started at 12 o'clock, well we were supposed to start at 12 o'clock, but by the time everybody got warmed up it was more like 12:30. Okay. We had two referees who were the two main people from the basketball club who very kindly volunteered and gave their time free of charge, so that was good.
Okay, and were there any matches impressed you very much?
A lot of them.
Yes, could you talk about
because in the competition a lot of the teams were from the Chinese society and we tend not to see them playing very much because they don't seem to get as involved with the basketball club as perhaps they could do, and there was some very high standard of play. Okay,
and the second question is that I was a player for one team as well, and indeed like what you said just now, the matches were so competitive.
Yes.
And many people start to talk about the strengths of Chinese team and a Western team. How do you think of the strengths of Chinese team and a Western team about the physical quality, the basketball skill?
I was quite surprised at the level of skill of a lot of the Chinese players, but I think you play a lot of what we would sort of class as street basketball. Which is a lot more the 3-on-3 type of flavour, isn't it? Where you just go in and you go for the baskets. In particular, there were a couple of players who, although not very tall in stature, could jump amazingly high.
Yes. And who won the final match?
It was a team who was captained by Bruno Luciano, and he actually played. They actually play for the basketball club.
Oh, they won. And the third question is, the Foster Sports Centre held a 3-on-3 basketball game in the December last year before the Christmas. It was very impressive as well. So could you tell us, are there any difference between these two games about rural team actually?
We had two teams less this time than we did in December. Otherwise the rules were all the same, except this time instead of playing it in two groups, I played it in two groups of 7 teams last time. This time we played it as one big group, so everybody played everybody, and they played 10 minutes per game instead of 5 minutes per game.
Oh, that's a big difference.
So I think people were getting very tired by the end of the day.
Yes, very tired. If the competition will be held at Euclid again, what do you think a little bit changed or improved? Or do you have any suggestion or tips for the players?
I think a few more teams make a better competition in terms of if you play it in two pools of say 7 teams, people don't get quite as tired, so the day goes a little bit quicker, and I don't think you play. I think it worked out that each team played roughly about 80 minutes of basketball, which is a long time to be playing on court throughout the day. And we're hoping that we're going to run a 3-on-3 league next year.
Okay. And the last question is basketball is actually not that popular in the UK. So what about it at Euclid?
Well, I think it's getting more popular in the UK.
Really?
Yes, they've just won, just recently in the news, they've won a contract for having the American basketball teams coming over to play against the British basketball teams. I think they've also won some sort of contract towards the Olympics for hosting the basketball.
Yes.
So that's really good to do. But I think it's improving, and I think at UCLan basketball's always been quite popular. I don't think the integration between the eastern and western side is quite as complete as it perhaps could be.
Yes, and as I heard before, a new sports centre going to be taken into service, like soon, right?
Yeah.
So I hope more British could fall love into basketball and play with others from all over the world. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.